Hello to all of you. Well, geez, it feels like Richard and Lee have me on webinars every second night at the moment, but awesome to be sharing with you. I've just had the privilege of going through what Richard's about to share with you. And again, Richard, I know on Tuesday night you were up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Again, it's 3 a.m. in the morning Brisbane time. Is that right?
Yeah, just on 3 again. Nice and early or late.
For those people that so I'm just going to get my camera right here. It's sort of got me sitting somewhere in the middle. Anyway, for those people that were on Tuesday, I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but I just want to repeat myself quickly. I met Richard back in 2008. I made some videos about how to invest in Australian property, and I don't quite know how he found them on YouTube, but anyway, he reached out to me, and he was working with one of the top Australian property companies to help people invest in Australian investment property. And anyway, we ended up doing lots of business with them. We never actually had an exclusivity agreement, but we we pretty much worked exclusively with them in Australia. And it was in those days that I came to the concept of them working, whether you call it an affiliate program, a channel program, or working with B2B, business to business. It's very much the same thing. And what was fascinating to me is that this conversation tonight started with me being on the other side of the fence, where I was effectively a partner of theirs, and I was helping them, was helping my clients invest into their products in Australia. And what was amazing is I never had any issues getting paid, and my clients were all happy, and it really was a great system. And unfortunately, the business actually got sold. Unfortunately for me and for Richard, because we had a good thing going at the time, but a developer took over and it changed things a little bit. But it's with a huge honor, Richard, that actually 11 years later, we're doing it together. And tonight we're going to share this concept of a business within a business. You were the one that came up with that concept many years ago in that company, Ozinvest, and you guys had incredible results. And I was one of the ones that sat on the other side of the fence. And I know what it was like to be a partner of yours, and how wonderful it actually was to work with you. And so I'm super excited that we're now doing it to allow our partners to be able to participate. And so, I know it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I really appreciate your time. And I I can't believe that we're finally here. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time, so it's super exciting that we're actually doing it now. For just as a quick intro before I hand over to Richard, we were super successful with our Seeders campaign. And we actually, you can see that I've circled it. We won on numerous occasions, was the biggest amount and the most investors. We ended up raising, actually, I've just done the final maths today. It was $2.43 million, so just short of $2.5 million. And you can actually see there's 683 investors. It was actually 882 in the end. We've just done the final audit. And the only reason that I can't update the slide is because it's a screenshot from the final day, but there was a bit of momentum that came in it afterwards, basically. Now, why is that important for the webinar and what we're doing now with the business within a business? Well, Richard and I went on a digital real estate mastermind back in October last year, and the lights really came on around how we can, really help businesses take their businesses to the next level from a digital component. And we did this entire launch using digital marketing. There was no traditional marketing, no live events, no adverts, no radio, no TV. Everything was digital. And Richard actually created all the journeys and all the digital, stuff from scratch. And I think the results speak for themselves. If you take the company and the ethos upon which our company has grown, it's been based on Zig Ziglar. You can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And really, what is this webinar about tonight? Well, we want to help you get what you want. And we fundamentally believe that if you help others get what they want and you get what you want, then ultimately the entire ecosystem is going to work. Now let's look at that ecosystem a little bit. And I don't have time tonight, but I highly recommend a book called New Power. And it's how the world is changing. And in the property space or the investment space or the wealth space, there was generally used to just be old power behaviors where pretty much people just complied with the regulation and it was all about consuming. But the new power is completely different. It's about sharing. It's about affiliating. So tonight is a lot of what we're talking about, affiliating. It's adapting. It's funding. It's producing. Richard tonight's going to talk about producing. and ultimately it's about shaping, and it's all about communities, and really what we're trying to do in this webinar. When I keep saying tonight, it's early morning in Australia and it might be another time zone somewhere else. It's just my night time. I apologize. The whole campaign that we built for the Seeders was about building the Amazon of global real estate. You know, Amazon started out as an online bookstore, but they now sell everything to anyone. And really, what they do is they provided a trusted marketplace to do it. And what we keep asking is why is it not possible to do that in the property, the real estate, the investment, the wealth space? We've got our ecosystem, and you know, we started off with Wealth Migrate, which was there to help high net worth and individuals and professionals ultimately invest in first world countries. We launched the Wealth University on Tuesday night, which is all about online education. It's what we tend to refer to as the TED Talks of wealth. We've got the Wealth Movement, which is ultimately where like-minded people gather together for live events around the world. And it's also about changing the world. It's all about a purpose, which I'll talk about later. And one day in the future, we're not there yet, we'll launch Wealth Create, where ultimately people can invest, you know, from $1. If you haven't seen our ecosystem video, I will put it in the chat box a little bit later while Richard is presenting. And so before I hand to Richard, just so that you've got some context, this is a lovely diagram that he did, and very simple and very effective in my opinion, of what a global real estate marketplace looks like. And you know, we started with the invest part, and that was our marketplace. We get trusted partners from around the world, you know, with great quality products, and ultimately you and me get to be able to invest in those products. And then there's 4 simple steps on the platform where people can get to participate in the marketplace. Then we went to education, and as we said, we basically launched the Wealth University, and then we went to the service and what we call the directory. And it's with a huge amount of excitement, like I said, you know, having learned about this from Richard 12 years ago, then having seen it with Tony Robbins and that incredible group in 2010 at Business Mastery, and companies like Zappos, some of the best companies in the world, and realizing how important it is to build a business within a business. And I'm so excited tonight to be handing over to Richard as he shares with you our concept of how the business in a business works. You know, you can see in this diagram that the old hierarchy of businesses was top down and very structured and a bunch of employees, and now it's much more of a collaboration and a community and different connected people working together. And so it's without further ado that I wanted to hand over to you, Richard, and I want to leave you with one quick question, well, not so much for you, but for everyone that's online. You know, the question I've got for everyone, and actually before I hand to you quickly, I just want to share this very quickly. I did a Google search around the number of people that earn $1 million on Amazon. And the question I've got that I'd like everyone to keep in the back of their mind while Richard is going through this is, we want to know who's going to be the first person to make $1 million through our business to business, business within a business concept. Over to you, Richard. Super excited to see all about it and hear all about it.
Thank you, Scott, and hello to everybody. It's always a pleasure, even though it's 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm making sure I'm wide awake, so hopefully we'll get through this, and it'll be of high value for you. I'll just get rid of my technical issues at the moment. Okay.
Just click on the little, you see this little arrow down the bottom there? You've got the slide, we can see it. And if you just click on the little arrow down the bottom, then it'll...
that one.
Okay,
okay, got you. Sorry, we got off to a roaring start. What I wanted to do, because it's, I guess sometimes we overlook the fact of what actually a marketplace is. And before we just move forward, I just wanted to talk about the evolution of a marketplace as well. And we'll go through this very, very quickly. Basically, a marketplace is where buyers and sellers meet. And buyers being obviously the traffic, and our sellers here would be the little stalls who would sell a variety of different products, clothing, fruit. We've all been through them before. But what we forget sometimes is the actual marketplace here is actually the real estate, or the person who owns or leases the land. And what they do is they take a small amount off each one of those vendors there with the tents, but they don't get involved heavily into the transaction. In fact, not at all in the transactions. So that's the traditional sort of scope of a marketplace. A little bit more modern version is the shopping centre. The same principle applies. You've got your buyers walking around there amongst all the shops. Your sellers are the little shops there. And again, this is the marketplace. So the actual building itself, the actual infrastructure, is the marketplace. So in this case, in this modern version, it's a shopping centre. So I guess the best way to define it, as I've got there, is it's a conduit for buyers to meet sellers. There's a lot of versions of it. There's hybrid versions of marketplaces, but to keep things really simple, it's where buyers and sellers meet using the infrastructure provided. Scott, I just wanted to, before I move forward, I just wanted to ask your version in 20 seconds or less of a marketplace in the way you explain things on an online version of a marketplace.
Oh, sure, an online version. Well, basically, for me, the ones that people understand are eBay, Alibaba, Amazon, which is where numerous companies, businesses again, individual businesses go onto the marketplace, and then buyers go on and buy what they want. And eBay, Amazon, and Alibaba provide a trusted, transparent platform that allows the transactions to take place at scale and cost effectively.
Spot on. Look, every time you talk marketplace, everybody knows eBays and your Amazons and so forth, but it's the online version of the traditional model. You've still got your sellers, you've got all your brands, you've got individual people. It's easy to become a seller, as we know, and you've got, of course, the marketplace online is eBay, and the buyer is us on the other end, or sitting on the phone or on the laptop. Airbnb, again, the same principle. A host is actually technically the seller. They're going to make the money from it. They're selling their service on there. The marketplace, again, is the platform or the website. That's the infrastructure, or you can call it real estate. And a buyer is us as consumers. So basically, we all know of the giant out there, which Scott's touched on, which is Amazon. It's probably one of the most successful businesses. Its revenues have increased dramatically, and they've really disrupted the entire market for retailers around the globe. Some of those retail brands there have been around longer than most of us, and Amazon, I think, is what, it's 20 years, just over 20 years now. Scott, moving on, and across all of the business segments that they've got, their revenues have really increased over the last few years in particular, and it's the key understanding the key components of how that comes together. It's really what we call the sort of the channels that they've introduced. And taking a step back, there's a great research hub called Statista, and they do all the research for a lot of online businesses. And they did every year they do a large survey to Amazon specific customers, returning customers. And so it's interesting just to look at it is what the benefits are from a customer's point of view for a marketplace. Well, in this particular case, Amazon, and obviously price, because of the variety. You've got the convenience of all being on the phone, being on the laptop, the shipping, of course, the reliability and the reviews. It's that social proofing that Scott talks about over and over again, how important that is now. And it's interesting to note that when this with this particular survey, they've gone across all of the different generational spectrums. So across the board, you're getting a fairly sort of similar feedback in most cases. So it's just interesting to touch on that. Their profits are growing specifically in the last sort of.
Just very quickly there, Richard. I was literally reading an article 2 days ago. In fact, I'll share it with people if they're interested, on all Jeff Bezos's letters, company CEO letters. And they talk about it being the flywheel, because as the prices went down, you got more customers. And as more customers came, more businesses want to be involved, and as more businesses get involved, more customers come, and they call it the flywheel.
Yeah, 100%, Scott. I didn't know it was called the flywheel, but it's fantastic. But basically, in a nutshell, in practical terms, what they've done is they've basically brought in large channels, if you like, and I've got them listed there. They're sort of categories of their streams of revenue. So they've got their online stores, of course. They've got physical stores. They've got their Amazon Web Service business, which is powering ahead, as a lot of us are probably aware. Subscription services are going through the roof, third-party sellers, and they've got a whole host of what they call other services in that revenue category. So across the broad spectrum, I think there's literally hundreds, I don't know the exact figure, hundreds of different products that they have. And that's to capture the market, that's to clip the ticket of their customer. And that's one of the biggest successful things Jeff Bezos has done, over the last 10 years, is really pushing forward with those revenue streams, is to not lose a customer. Marketplace is also called a sharing economy. A lot of people, the technical term is like a peer-to-peer marketplace. But basically, again, in a nutshell, for us, to keep things simple, it's where buyers meet sellers, and the platform is the conduit. It's basically just peer-to-peer is a fancy name, but there is a fourth thing in there, and that's the business opportunities that marketplaces create because of their openness, because of this sharing economy, and that's the thing that we want to go into a little bit in more detail now. So basically, the next thing is the ability for marketplaces to allow people to generate revenue themselves. So that as an individual or either as a business, and that's really without owning any stock. That's not as a seller who's producing a product or creating a product, and that just means that somebody can start a business and choose the type of products that they want to share and get paid for it at the same time. So they've created a phenomenal program, and they've basically been the leader in the field, instigating this program from the early 2000s onwards, and they've created many millionaires for people who just simply come to the marketplace and refer customers to it. So the internet's evolving, and it's creating all of these endless opportunities now. So many more people coming onto the internet. But in really simple terms, affiliate marketing, in a nutshell, is referring a customer to the marketplace, being able to track it as well using a tracking code, and getting paid for it from the vendor or via the marketplace. What makes up affiliate marketing? There's a lot of terms that make up affiliate marketing. Some of the common ones are email marketing, where people send out emails with a link to a particular product in a field that they're interested in. Influence marketing, we've all heard of the Kardashians, the Instagram, of course, and the amount of Instagram millionaires and paid millionaires as well, which is a very big factor now in business. Business are adopting all of these channels around the globe. Content marketing, again, is really creating content, writing blogs, that type of thing as well. Social media marketing, which has always been massive, but people now are finding it easier now to share products, to share and to refer across a lot of different platforms and programs. And looking deeper into the research, there's phenomenal research now on online business revenues and revenue streams, and across the spectrum, they call them channels. I certainly call them channels, and one of the key ones here is the referral business. So that's not working for a company or for a business. It's having your own independent business and being in that affiliate space and referring customers to it. And you can quite clearly see here that it's a high revenue driven channel. So with multiple businesses adopting referral programs, This industry is now set to boom. It's been booming. It's going to double. I can't remember the exact figures, but the year 2020, it's going to reach the sort of $20 billion mark. But most importantly, it's the businesses know they've got to have this channel. It's a simple channel to set up. It's easy. They can create that whole sharing economy by just allowing people to create a business and to make money on their platform. Again, just pulling some more statistics for you to show how important affiliate marketing is. It takes up a big chunk of a sales channel, and it's one of the least costly ones as well. Just thought I'd show you a little bit of the growth in the social feeding, into e-commerce sites. They're monetizing things. Everybody's businesses are monetizing everything that they can now. It's all got to do those little micro revenue streams. Don't miss out. Don't not clip the ticket where you can. And it's interesting just to see the growth, and that growth curve is going to be phenomenal as more and more businesses adopt all of the spectrums of referral marketing. Some of the most common marketplaces that we know of, some of the big monster, I guess you want to call it monster referral programs with hundreds of thousands and millions of referrers and people making a business are, of course, Amazon. Amazon Associates is the big program there. And again, they've created many millionaires. They make it very easy. They provide the tools. You don't have to have the stock. You just have to be the networker. You have to. When we are in business, we are networkers. But then you get an online, offline, and you start building those networks and build a business within their business. eBay, of course, one of the old ones. Shopify, all of the big guns, the Alibabas of the world now. And they're all competing for this massive push in change of business now. As employment changes, more and more people are, working from home, more flexibility around it, and of course, businesses are adopting that as well, with the workplaces and so forth shrinking. So basically, in a nutshell, Wealth Migrate, the ecosystem, developed their own business within a business, which incorporates referral marketing, and that's what we're just going to deep dive into now. And Scott, in terms of, and just in case anybody online, would you want to put it in a minute version of the global real estate marketplace? How that works, how that brings everything together?
From my side.
From your side, just in case you're falling asleep.
No, not at all. So I think for me, the global real estate marketplace, that's why I love that diagram that you showed, just with the globe and the different parts, is that in a global real estate, it's not only around the investment. You've got the education side that is equally as important. You've got the services side and the directory, which is equally important. You've got, in our opinion, people getting together. I fundamentally believe that no matter how digital the world gets, people will still want to get together with like-minded people and have a purposeful impact. And so in terms of our global real estate marketplace, and there's a whole bunch of extra things that you've actually added on that we'll bring in over the future. But at the moment, those are the three different angles that we've brought, so that we can cater for multiple different partners and equally provide more value to clients where they've got more variety from trusted partners.
Perfect. So our own partner program basically comes in three parts. One, a referrer model, very much like the affiliate program we just talked about before. We're using those different mediums under affiliate marketing, the emailing, the social media. The other one is a contributor, and I will go through what a contributor is very shortly. But basically, it's somebody that creates like a program or a mastermind themselves for the Wealth University and puts it into the university marketplace. And then there's what I call the business within the business opportunity, which encompasses the whole ecosystem. So that's just the three definitions, if you can keep those ones in mind. the revenue pathways, that's one of the most important things. So basically, we've got the Wealth University, the directory, which Scott touched on, which I'll show you very shortly. We've got Wealth Migrate itself, the platform, the global real estate marketplace. We've got Wealth Create in there for the future, where we co-develop, co-invest, co-develop specific key niche opportunities with key partners. And then we've got the Wealth Movement, where we create some of the biggest events in real estate and technology together, and bring some of the best experts in the world all in one place. So the Wealth University, in terms of its revenue model, is made up of masterminds, micro degrees, and it's a subscription-based model. And I'll go a little bit into that deeper shortly. The directory is where it's like our yellow pages, but where it's a niche, professional listing service for service businesses that are related to what we do, like the real estate industry and technology. And I'll go into that a little bit further on, but that's a subscription-based model as well. The Wealth Migrate ecosystem, of course, the platform, which is the approved deals, people listing projects, coming to us and listing projects, doing the work themselves, bringing those into the ecosystem, even bringing members, increasing their memberships on the platform, subscriptions, and ultimately co-helping with the raising of capital for those investment opportunities. Wealth Create, again, that will be centered around deals, bringing deals to the platform that we would look at and co-invest and do together. Again, members and being involved in the raises. And the Wealth Movement, and this is revenues, of course, channels, involved in the event marketing side, the subscription side, and the listing side. So the Wealth University, I just wanted to quickly touch on the Wealth University. As Scott mentioned before, we've put this together to be the #1 platform in the world that covers the specific coming together of technology disruption on this vast real estate industry, and the amount of knowledge that people are searching for to stay on top of it, whether it's relevant for the business or the individual or a career path. So the Wealth University, we put together specific, what we call masterminds. These are the products on our online shop. And what we've got there is the Inner Circle. If you didn't catch the webinar the other night, the Inner Circle is basically going to have experts speaking. It's going to specifically talk about digital real estate and global real estate. It's going to talk about exponential technology, and it's in a mastermind environment where we're going to bring experts in. We'll have closed Facebook pages, and we'll have private WhatsApp groups where information is shared instantly, so you can share, grow, and learn at the same time in the Inner Circle Mastermind. Another product is the Digital Real Estate Mastermind, which is a little bit more deep diving into specifics like digital currency and how that's going to affect the industry, the tokenization of buildings and products, the blockchain, the future trends. Another big overview in terms of the global real estate, and it's really that deep dive into that technology collision to see where all of the opportunities are coming from. And I do urge you to go and have a look at the Wealth University website and have a really good deep dive into that. And Scott, maybe it's a good chance to sort of ask you again just the importance of education when it comes to investment, it comes to disruption, it comes to the future, because you do put it quite poignantly in very simple terms.
You know, Richard, the easiest way to describe it is when you and I were helping people invest in Australia, in 2008, 2009. How did we do it? We did it through educating people. We stood on a stage and we taught people how to do it. And I believe that education is ultimately the catalyst, because it gives people the self-confidence, it gives them the knowledge and the self-belief to be able to actually do the things they want to do, to create the life they want, to create the freedoms they want in their life, etc. So for me, in terms of education, I believe the 20th century was all about, going to school, going to university, going on a course, reading a book, and then hopefully going out and actually doing it. Well, the stats are 96% of people don't do it. And often what you learn in real life are two different things. So what we've done at the Wealth University is that we're embracing the 21st century principles, which is learning while doing. You're not learning from people that are lecturers, you're learning from people that are actually doing it. You're learning from global authorities, you joining like-minded groups, you're joining masterminds, which masterminds were created back in the 1930s by Napoleon Hill, but they haven't really been used highly effectively other than by very wealthy people up until about the last 10 to 20 years. And now, using digital mediums, we can take the best of what super wealthy people do and create masterminds so that people at a global level can participate. And that's where things like our inner wealth circle, our wealth inner circle, and our digital real estate mastermind have been created to allow people to participate in the 21st century. And not only learn while doing, but to succeed a lot faster than they can do on their own. The metaphor, and to finish off, the metaphor I always give people is based on the environment, on the laws of nature. A bird flying in a flock can fly 70% further than a bird flying on its own. And yet when it came to education beforehand, everyone tried to fly on their own. And what you're trying to do, and with Lee and everything else, is we're creating flocks so that people can fly further and ultimately get to where they want to get to.
Perfect. The other revenue product, which Scott has touched on as well, is the new directory. So basically, the directory is going to be where those specific service-based businesses will come into a marketplace environment, and of course, the members on the site will be able to get the benefits of social proofing, of getting answers to questions, getting the best service, getting the best deals. From a business side, you'll get exposure to a global network. You'll be able to network in amongst the various groups and businesses that we've got, and of course, build their presence online as well. So very much like the house website, they've built an armada of professionals in every country, and it's a very highly used and sought after a stream or a product on their site, and it's growing rapidly. The businesses here in Australia are all on house now in this particular industry. So it's a very similar concept. The types of businesses, we're not just limited to what I have on here, but they do play a role. Of course, accountants, commercial real estate agents. Car hire might seem like a crazy one, but when people do go from country to country, they look at things like accommodation and they look at things like car hire. And if we can bring the best deals and opportunity for those people, then they will be here for the members or for the global network to take benefit from. And that's something we'll be working deeply on with all of the professional businesses on the directory. So again, people in the financial industry who have got a service to offer, who've got some value they can add to the members, private bankers, the list goes on. People move when they move country, removalists, solicitors, taxation. We're not limited to what's there, but just to give you an idea of what we want to do in each country as we become the global real estate marketplace. So being digital products, the directory and both the Wealth University are online products. So you can go online, a business can go online in the directory, choose the level that they want to have. Same in Wealth University, people can choose the various masterminds and the various products that we bring forward. So for somebody, and we're specifically talking about referrers here or affiliates, the people that sign up to our program, they will earn 25% income on each referral that they're responsible for. So, for example, just to give you a very broad example, it's simple, just numbers. The Wealth Migrate directory, in 1 year, if somebody, one of our partners brought 20 businesses on to our platform on the silver level, then they would be paid 25% of that. Same with the gold level, and same with the platinum level as well. The Wealth University, again, the same with our Inner Circle, our Digital Real Estate Mastermind, and our Global Wealth Mastermind, which is coming. And just to let you know that we are reaching out to so many people, and we've been contacted by so many people who really want to be a part of this educational side that Scott's explained to you, the wealth universities, the ecosystem, the entire educational platform around real estate and technology. So we've been approached by companies. Our new partner in India is very successful in creating large subscriber bases and to technology. And he wants to build a mastermind specifically for his 2 million database of people in that country that can educate them about the first world opportunities and how you can do it and so forth. So we do have a lot of people reaching out to us, which is very exciting. In terms of a digital, coming back to the affiliate side of things, so this is digital income, this is instant, this is paid straight away as soon as money in, money out, of course. There's no limits to it, so we don't put, like on a lot of the traditional affiliate marketing programs where they have time frames and so forth. There's no limits to, or no cap in terms of what you can achieve, and there's no time limit to somebody that's been referred on there. And also, to make it a little bit different, we want to make it reoccurring year on year. So for example, if you as a affiliate partner brought on a business that signed up to the directory and they love that service and love how it's going, if they renew the following year, that will automatically be paid to you again. So you can build a serious annuity income just based simply on becoming a affiliate partner. As a contributor, basically creating content, creating your own mastermind, and I will come to that very shortly for the university. That's someone providing a mastermind to us that's already been created. Using our platform, you would earn 70% of that income, and we're the conduit and the bringer of traffic, being the marketplace. I guess in practical terms, the Wealth University, masterminds can be created, master classes, micro degrees and courses, and we are talking to people in terms of the types of courses and products. The great thing about this is this real estate and technology collision is a fairly niche when it's all brought together. There's not a lot of platforms that are bringing it all together and being specific about it. There's a lot of information out there, but again, we want to bring it all together in one place. So in terms of ideas, excuse me, or topics relevant to, creating content or being a creator, commercial real estate courses, specific, again, residential, investing in residential, finance, accounting, all the important things that people will get value out of globally. People in India, for example, or Brazil, who want to understand how finance and how accounting works in say, real estate terms in the first world. Of course, AI, blockchain, again, there's many courses out there, but again, we want to specifically target it and make it around this huge opportunity in real estate and disruption. So the list does go on, and content creator obviously would be by application. Everybody's moving to masterclasses.
Just one point on that content creation. We are looking for people that have a track record already. You know, again, using the TED Talks curation. It's not someone who wants to go and read up on blockchain and tries to put a course together. You know.
Correct. So so how big is masterclasses that Scott talks about? Well, it's massive, simply because of technology and the internet. You know, now and there's people making masterclasses about just about anything you can think of, but they are monetizing it and finding the platforms that can bring the audience that's relative, you know, to their field. So it could be, in this case, you know, lessons, or there you go, on space exploration. So, but that's just to give you an idea in terms of masterclasses. Now, in terms of the business to business, the exciting part is being all-encompassing. So not just a referrer of digital products, not just a contributor, but somebody that can choose between those and the other ecosystem platforms and revenue opportunities that we have: the Wealth University, Directory, Wealth Migrate, Wealth Create, and Wealth Movement. So to simplify things, or to summarize things, in the Wealth University, you've got your digital products, and in the Directory, you've got your digital products. That's an instant annuity income. So if you're starting a business, you're excited about the global real estate and the technology collision, and all the moving parts in between, and the opportunities that are going to come out of that, is the instant revenue that will be available. That's live now. For people who want to sign up, you can start earning these types of annuity incomes straight away. In the bigger picture, the Wealth Migrate ecosystem, the Wealth Migrate marketplace, the platform, the real estate side, the core of the entire business. There's the opportunity now to become a lister. In the future, buying and selling a building, bringing that listing to the platform. Of course, there's approval processes on that, but bringing quality product to the platform. Could be portfolios of buildings, but the concept of being able to slip into this revenue stream ecosystem. This is the longer term product, but this is the heavy revenues, the big revenues, and they take a little bit longer. So you can see we've mixed the annuity income, the instant income, you know, with the bigger opportunities out there. Wealth Create, that's going through the ecosystem at the moment, and we are working out how that's all going to come together, as is the wealth movement. So overall, the business within the business concept is to tap into the entire ecosystem that Scott has and his team has built, the Wealth University, the Wealth Migrate platform together, and take advantage of the annuity income and the longer, bigger incomes that's going to be derived from the real estate side of things. Now, in summary, the partner program options that we are busy building now are the three that I mentioned before. Any of these are open to anybody. Some have skill sets, of course, that need to be, we need to take a good look at those in terms of like contributors, as Scott said before, people bringing deals to the platform. But the opportunity in this day and age, you know, with the way things are changing, is if you look at it as building a business where you don't have to have a shop, you can tap into the ecosystem and the infrastructure that's being built to run your business, network globally, use the infrastructure of the platform to bring it all together, to cross-sell between other people that are building a business within a business, and in a field which has no limits really moving forward. You're moving forward into that industry, which is digitally, digital marketing. This is an affiliate marketing. in our real estate technology disruption industry, that is the most exciting field moving forward. We've pulled it all together in a niche environment where there isn't anything out there that's specifically like this. And so the opportunities moving forward from a business perspective overall, in terms of making a business out of it, is something that I believe, in talking and researching, there isn't too many options like that out there. And although we haven't finalized the business within a business side of things, we are certainly putting it out there and very keen to talk to interested parties. People may be, of all types of walks of life, but from a business background, that really want to be in this type of industry. On the other hand, referrers, anybody can become a affiliate marketer and get started straight away, tapping into their own networks, bringing people into the Wealth University, and of course into the directory, and the contributors. So we really want to hear from all three as we bring the whole ecosystem and the whole business to business concept together. We are doing it in stages. So we're really at stage 1, but wanting to discuss and move forward with stage 2 and stage 3. So basically, Scott, in a nutshell, in a summary, I guess, from here moving forwards, if people are interested in talking to us, the best way at this point in time, as we finalize some of the infrastructure, is to reach out to either myself at the email below, or Lee, or contact you. Of course, I think that's the best. Myself and Lee are certainly working through everything at the moment, and certainly dealing with all the different moving parts and the interested people. We do have brochures available. We are working with Gavin's team and other teams to get the right products online, to get the visuals on it so you can register online and that type of thing. And we're not too far away from that. We've created the tools. We are creating the tools and the infrastructure that you could manage a business, if you like, like you would on any online program or affiliate marketing program. We're building the infrastructure as well. That's part of our what we're offering in our business-to-business environment. So that would be the best way forward. If you've got any questions, you want brochures, you want to keep up to date with it, and you want answers to questions. And Scott, I guess in finalising and just keeping an idea on time and wanting to move things forward, would you like to perhaps talk to people, perhaps explain how that correlates with the whole ecosystem in terms of where we're heading and moving forward, where you want to take the whole global wealth group, the whole ecosystem, the whole revenue models, moving forward? I don't know if you can summarize that very quickly for us, and then I'll sign off.
No, perfect, Richard. Look, I understand it's early in the morning, and while you got that slide up, and then I'm going to steal back the screen if you don't mind. To remind everyone, the reason we called it the Global Wealth Group was because we wanted to be able to come at it from multiple different angles. And our bigger picture purpose was, how can we solve the wealth gap? And it wasn't only about helping people invest. It was about the education. It was about events and everything that you've so eloquently brought together in terms of what we're looking at. I think for me, the question that I would like to share with everyone, if I steal back the slide, is what is it to be a global citizen, and what are you doing to be a global citizen? And there's a whole bunch of things that are very relevant from what you've shared tonight, or today, Richard. And that is that you've spoken a lot about digital, so people can learn how to get into the digital environment, how to build businesses online, how to build. Hello, you can sleep. Good night, man. 11. It's bedtime. And how to build businesses online. But the one that I like most about what you've talked about tonight, Richard, is how to build a passive income, and how to build. For me, a global citizen is about building multiple revenue streams that are passive income in first world currencies. So no matter where you're living in the world, you've got multiple incomes coming effectively passively, which basically provide you with the freedom. That's what I believe a global citizen is. And so, whether people want to, where they want to live or send their kids to school or university or, go on holiday or spend money to the church or whatever, I don't really care about that. But what I'm very passionate about is helping people create the freedom to be able to have, to be able to create that freedom to make those decisions. And that's what I believe is a global citizen. And so to come back to your question around the ecosystem, what you've done now is with Lee and other members of the team, you've built the building blocks to allow people to become global citizens. In the past, you had to basically build the whole thing from scratch. You and me in 2008, I flew to Australia, you flew to South Africa. It took a hell of a lot of setup and I suppose quite a lot of guts as well and whatever to really set it all up and and get it all going. But nowadays, using digital, it's become a lot more available to people. And what's wonderful is that it doesn't even have to impact what they're doing in their day job. Like they can get started slowly. What you've shown there, you don't need to resign tomorrow morning and get going. Like we're gonna build all these systems to make it easier and easier. And I hope that in the near future people start realizing, well, hang on, I can actually add real value to people here, and that's the most important part. Remember Zig Ziglar, you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. This is not Amway or any of those type of products. This is where you're actually adding value to people, and then ultimately benefiting by growing a passive income. And that's why I love this slide. And I don't know if you've seen it or actually saw it on Tuesday night, but in terms of this whole global citizen. The other thing that there's a couple of questions here, but I just wanted to finish quickly with the wealth movement. And I believe that business nowadays, and we did a wonderful webinar in February around purpose and profit. And a lot of what you've been talking about tonight is showing people how to become global citizens, how to earn a profit in a first world income. But what I really want to emphasize is that people can also do it with purpose. The wealth movement is we set ourselves a target on how we could empower 1 billion people. And, we can't do it on our own. It's one of the greatest challenges on the planet, the wealth gap, the poverty cycle, and the fact that, it's getting better, but it's just not happening fast enough. And, there's all these reports out there about the top 1% own more than 50% of the world's wealth. What are we going to do about it to solve it? Where people live around the world. As you spoke about India tonight, and it's amazing the growth that's happening in India, and they're just so thirsty for knowledge. And we've been in China since 2016, and it's just been amazing. Ladies, and one of the things that's most passionate about for us and is that the wealth movement has 3 legs to it. It's entrepreneurship for children. It's empowering women when it comes to wealth and financial education, because they very much have been left out in the 20th century. And people like Hilda Lunderstedt are really championing that in terms of where it's going, and then giving everyone access to wealth. And the millennials, what's most interesting is that this is a space that they can now participate in terms of where we're going. So I think what a lot of people get confused about is it's not just property. We want to help the 99% invest like the top 1%, and getting the knowledge is critically important. And I wanted to share a quick video here, and then I've got 1 or 2 more slides, and then I want to go to Q&A. But this video sums up the challenges in the property industry at the moment. So, for me, it's these slides of changing what is so wrong out there. With 49% of the world's wealth, only 12.9% of people having access to real estate, and us actually helping the 99% to invest. And our dream is to make investing as simple as a swipe of a finger and literally from $1. And when you look at the manifesto, why am I talking about this to conclude? Because Richard, what I think is really important that people get clear on the why, and what they've got the opportunity here is to participate not only in the profit but also in the purpose of where we're going and what we're doing big picture. And I know every day I get up, it's that purpose that actually drives me and gets me excited in terms of where we are. And I wanted to finish with a quick story. Some of you have heard it before, some of you haven't, but it's around an old man and a young boy. And this old man's walking along the beach, and every now and again he leans down and he picks up a starfish and he throws it into the sea. And the young boy is walking along behind him, and he's a bit confused because he looks up on the beach and there's just thousands, tens of thousands of starfish. And he sees the old man lean down and picks up a starfish and he throws it into the sea. And eventually the young boy says to the old man, he says, "What are you doing? Like, you seem to just be wasting your time throwing these starfish in the sea. There's hundreds of them. There's thousands of them." And the old man leans down and he picks it up and he throws it into the sea, and he says, "It matters to that one." And for me, when we're talking about this whole business within a business concept, if you can add value to just one person's life, I believe that is worth it to start off with. We talk about the profit and the passive income and becoming a global citizen, but I actually believe that we've got a purposeful opportunity here and a purposeful responsibility actually to share this with people. And then really you get to choose what impact you want to have. Do you want to have an impact on one person's life? Do you want to have an impact in building a business at green level? Do you want to influence an entire country, or do you want to leave a legacy? And I think, Richard, to conclude out, those are the questions that I want to leave with people. What type of impact do people want to have? And you've shared tonight so many different ways that people can participate depending on what suits them and their skill set and what they're wanting to achieve. So I'm going to leave this screen up here. There are a couple of questions that have come up here. One person was asking, I couldn't see the beginning. Was it recorded? Will you send us the recording? So yes. Will Wealth Migrate have an affiliate income generating program? So hopefully Richard's been through all that. And Wealth Migrate, the platform, already has an affiliate program as well, which people can participate in. Tina's asked, have you moved the affiliate pages? Can't seem to find mine anymore. Tina, I'll send you Lee Rush's details. Unfortunately, she couldn't be on tonight. She was doing something today in the desert. It was a holiday with her husband. But anyway, I'll send Tina Lee Rush's details. You did actually have them on your screen, but I'll tell you what, I'll put them up for everybody just in the chat box, because she can help them with that. Jan de Kock has asked, is this along the lines of network marketing, Amway type concept? What would be yours? I would say no, Richard, but what would be your comment on that?
No, multi-level marketing. That's the old school way where you basically, somebody brings you on board and you sell underneath them and they get a slight clip of your revenue. You are completely separated from anybody else. Multi-level marketing is levels. You're up here, there's another one down here, there's another one below you. You got to bring on as many people as you can, and the person at the top is the one that benefits. This is like having your own business, and your revenue that you generate is your revenue. There's nobody else. There's no levels. There's no lines. It's online. It's digital, and it's affiliate marketing and a business within a business.
I think to add to that, sorry for butting in, but I think to add to that as well is that think of it more like Amazon. There's Amway and there's Amazon, and on Amazon you've got businesses that are effectively have their products, and there's people coming to buy their products. The same as eBay, the same as Alibaba. It's a much more effective metaphor than Amway with all the downlines and that basis. Okay, Piers asked, is there a short summary? Oh, it's a long question. Is there a short summary of what you're describing that I can use as material marketing introduction to send a current business that will fit in 100% to what we're talking about in an attempt to get them on board? So if I understand, Pierre, we actually are building all the back-end systems to allow this to happen in an automated way. But for now, I mean, you've got my details. Why don't you just reach out to me directly? Just remind me, and I can send you the business directory brochures. And yeah, that you can. I mean, we've got all the brochures already in PDF hard copy. We're just building the back end so that people can automatically get access to those. And anyone else that wants the brochures, whether it's the digital directory or the Wealth University or anything, just write in their brochures, and we can send them to you. Are you able to share the slides? Interesting one, Sandra. So are we able to share the slides? Why would you want the slides just as a matter of interest? I'm not saying we can't. I'm just interested in what value they are. Certainly, what I would like to be doing, or what I've learned from Richard in the past, is that when he did this, when I was IPS and he was Ozinvest, they provided me with an entire pack that made my life so much easier. All the marketing, the PowerPoints, the PDFs, the everything. And we're launching. We're nowhere near as advanced as they were then, but we are going to build all that and make it a lot easier. So but the reason I'm asking the question is, are you looking for it as something to put together to show other businesses or people? Because then we would want to probably spruce them up a bit, and finalize them, Richard. Or whether it's just an internal information. Okay, lots of people asking for the brochures, so I'll ask Lee to follow up with an email for everyone with the respective brochures. I wanted to see the picture of the lights coming through the hands again. Okay, well, I can stop sharing. Do you want to share the light coming through, was that the Wealth Movement picture? Let me just that one. There we are, Sandra. You can see the picture. It's actually on the Wealth Movement website if you go to wealthmovement.com. Jan has asked, are there any costs involved to join, Richard?
Certainly not as a referrer or as a contributor. Potentially, if it's going to be a business within a business, that's something that Scott's going to decide on with the board. We're just in the throes of finalising that. We are providing, when it comes to the business side of things, we're providing the infrastructure, obviously, and the systems and the tools behind that. On that sort of level, if it's a proper business, yeah, there most likely will be some type of I guess startup, but it wouldn't be heavy or unrealistic or anything like that. It's just the difference is from a proper business side of it, of things. But in terms of referring, you just have to register as anybody that is interested, just to please perhaps make contact with Scott, and we get you registered. So that way, when it comes to this type of thing, referral marketing and ongoing, we have you registered in the system. You're given a code. We give you the tools. Whether you're emailing somebody and they click on your links, but we can go through all of that sort of stuff in detail, whether you put banners on your own business website, which a lot of people do as well very effectively. All the types of those sorts of tools need to be put in place, so that you don't, so that we know where it's come from. But you'll have direct access to Lee and myself. But I would certainly register with Lee first. All those tools will be provided, and the how-tos, probably as early as next week. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, I actually just realized for Sandra, I wasn't sharing my screen. Sorry, I've been looking at the Wealth Movement screen and I realized I hadn't shared my screen, so apologies. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge amount of infrastructure that's been put in place. We had some great meetings this morning, Richard and I, because we've got some of the most sophisticated back-end systems with Salesforce and Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And so when Richard talks about cost and setup, what we're hoping to do is to put a principle together called what we call a business in a box. for those that want to take that level. And there will be costs involved in that, not even to us, they're actually system costs, but they won't be prohibitive. It'll just make life a lot easier in terms of running a business within a box, and having all the systems custom and set up for you, basically. Okay, so do we contact Lee to become an affiliate? Yes, Sandra, Lee is the best. I have put her details in the chat box. For those who haven't seen, I will put it again quickly. So it's Lee Rush at wealthmigrate.com, LEERUSH at wealthmigrate.com. So that's for everyone. And then if there are 4 individuals bringing the investors to the table, how best would this be set up? All 4 individuals benefit equally. Sure. So it's an interesting question. If I understand it correctly from Ian, there would be 4 individuals working to bring the leads together. I think from our system perspective, Richard, and tell me if I'm getting this wrong, we'd probably still just have one affiliate code because it'd be too bloody difficult to do it otherwise, and then those 4 individuals could just split the income for that.
Sorry about that. Look, I think we're probably guessing until we understand the full question, but I think my understanding is it's like a team, like bringing a small team together. Anyway, I'm probably still guessing, but I'd love to hear the full question so we can answer it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, if I didn't answer right, again, please reach out to Lee and she'd be able to help. Tina's asking, I can't see all the QAs, I presume questions. Tina, they come up, it's just part of the system. When people type them, they're coming up. It doesn't come up on GoToMeeting. So I'm actually just reading them off and answering them. And so, yeah, if that's the right way, I think that's probably the easiest way to be able to do it in terms of the process. So look, I mean, from my side, Richard, I'm very, very grateful for you being up, so late with regards to what's happening. I wanted to put a quick little poll up for people, and you can basically decide what you want to do with it. If you want to fill in the poll, it'll give Lee and the team a little bit of extra information. Our time is valuable, your time is valuable, and so the more clarity we've got on what you're thinking, the more we can follow up and actually help you get started. And for those of you that have said receive a brochure or whatever, we'll make sure that we get that through to everyone. And I'm just deeply, deeply grateful for everyone that's been online tonight. I'm super excited. This is a forgot his bloody name now. The guy that landed on the moon. He said, "This is one small step for man, but one giant step for mankind." And I really think that people underestimate how important this step is that Richard and Lee and the team have brought in terms of a step towards the bigger vision. So I'd say it's one small step for our platform, but one giant step towards the vision. And thank you very much for everything you've done in that process, Richard.
No, thank you, and thanks for your time, guys. But yeah, please reach out if you've got any questions to myself or Lee. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Thank you again.
Cool. So let me just, I want to finish off with the very last slide for you, and it's the one that I always believe that we should always stay focused. And our aim is to put smart investing in every single person's pocket, and everything we've spoken about tonight are the tools to enable that to happen, and we hope that you are part of the journey and part of the community to make it happen. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening or morning or wherever you are, and there was someone saying Armstrong, so thank you for reminding me. I've been up since 3 a.m. so it's 3 a.m. Richard's time, and I've been up since 3 a.m. so it's my brain's starting to switch off, but anyway, it's wonderful, and thank you very much. Cool, guys. Cheers.